All right, free add-ins, what everybody loves. Free, free, free. Not going over. There we go. Spellcheck. Wow. Spellcheck anywhere in GP. Letters, notes, invoices, comments. Really helpful. If everybody is tired of seeing a missing C, a missing I in letters, when you're sending them out, it's very helpful. Littleware provides a free software to handle the Spellcheck functionality. Super cool. Color settings. So a lot of people like the cosmetic-y kind of appeal to things. I'm one of them. The color control settings are driven per company. So let's say you have multiple companies, it's a little bit easier when you can kind of navigate and know I'm in this company versus that company. So just an example, you could do green, pink, light gray, yellow. Pretty cool. Smart sort. So there's about 40 different inquiry windows that you can incorporate some automatic sorting filters through. So you can really customize your sorting filters. It's user specific, so you don't have to share somebody else's lookup inquiries and settings. Really nice flexibility so that you can navigate quickly through the system. Record lock. So oftentimes people are locked in somebody else's batch. Who's in my batch? Get out. I can't post. This is a great tool to identify who is in the batch, who has something open, to avoid users from having the constant confusion of getting out of my batch. SQL Server Performance Dashboard. So this is really nice from a technical standpoint. A lot of the server IT guys will probably appreciate this a little bit. So there is a performance dashboard report that's available to sit on your server and give some CPU usage, some activity monitoring. A lot of folks in IT would appreciate this on your SQL Server. As Diane mentioned, oftentimes users don't know what build you're on. There is Victoria Uden, who's an icon in our industry. She has a great software out there that allows you to grab the builds and the versions so that you guys can see what you're on. If you want to get into the actual downloads and the additional links, though, you will need to have access to Customer Source. So preventing multiple logins. So a lot of times users don't like to log off of the system. We were mentioning that earlier. And they'll use up 1 or 2 user seats. If they're in the test company or production, you can limit users to being able to log into 1 instance of GP at a time. So they're not using multiple user seats. CatBacks warning. So a lot of times you'll log in, you don't know your caps lock's on or off. You type in your password. It's a little annoying. So this gives you the flash that says your caps lock is switched on, it's switched off. It's a nice little feature. So for those that are controlling their password expiration, you are not notified when your password is going to expire. You would just log in and it would say, hey, your password's expired, you need to reset it. So what this tool does is it gives you the ability within a certain amount of period of time to say, hey, my password's going to expire from GP, and then give you the opportunity to change it through your user preferences. This is a really great option for security. So there's a GP security matrix. So there's an Excel-based matrix for GP security. So it's not just purchasing based. It goes through your complete security system. So receivables, payables, inventory, and you can see what tasks are assigned to what roles a little bit easier. And then your default roles. So see what's really lurking out there in some of the default GP roles, and cleaning up security is always a task that a lot of users like to tackle in Q1 or Q4 to make things nice and clean going into the next year. So those are really two great security features. So AutoDem. There is the ability to schedule integration manager based integrations. So we have had some requests where some users do the same integrations over and over every day, and this is a nice way for integration manager to be able to automate those.
What does that mean? Automate those?
Well, you can set a certain time and a date on when you want them to run. So let's say at midnight every day, you're away, you want to keep integration manager running, you would set the, in this type of, it's a macro that sits out there, and then it runs every night or every morning or whatever the time is that you want it to run for a specific integration. So there is the GP Excel copy paste functionality where you can copy and paste a journal entry in. What is really nice is that you can paste from Excel with intercompany. So you can paste journal entries with intercompany for GL, payables, and sales with or without intercompany transactions. On the GL transaction entry window, when you're looking at a journal entry, there's some options down at the bottom, the source, the master ID, and the master name. A lot of people really want to see this, and it's really nice to be able to drill back to the master ID or where the transaction originated from. SafePay tools. So SafePay, depending on who you bank with, if you're using SafePay, there is a bank requirement that provides an absolute value. It's not a standard functionality, but this tool will allow you to set those absolute values in SafePay based off of your bank's requirements. Receivables management auto apply. So users can mass apply posted receivables management credit memos, debit documents, using a range of customers, debit documents, credit document dates, credit memos. You can restrict it based off of the type. This is a really nice tool, along with in PSTL the ability to unapply. So you can mass apply and you can also unapply. Average days to pay. So everyone wants to see what their customer's average days to pay is. This calculates the year-to-date and the life-to-date average days to pay, and gives you a nice report that shows that information. In sales order processing, you have the ability to sort line items. So each individual user can have their own custom sorting options to display at a line item level in sales order processing what they want to see. Item number, item tax schedule, the list goes on. There's a long list in there. For auto-incrementing the customers, vendors, and IDs, what you are able to do with this tool is you're able to auto-populate the next customer ID vendor ID, or item number. A lot of folks like to have their own naming convention on their customers or their vendors or their items, but there is the ability to generate that next number automatically. Fixed assets. I know from Diane's poll, only a few of you are using fixed assets, but you have great capability to now print barcodes on your fixed assets. So this one's been making some traction over the past couple of months, and this is the payroll activity tracking. So if you're using payroll, HR, and you want to be able to track employee changes that are made in the system, this is a great report that will show you those changes. Jet Express for Excel. There is a financial reporting for GP. This gives you the simplicity of being able to create basic reports and business queries inside of Excel. Power BI. So Power BI is a magnificent suite of business analytical tools to help you analyze data, share insights, monitor your business. It's got some great, rich dashboards available on every device. Excel-based table reference. So there is an Excel-based table reference with all of the tables and the fields in GP. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to navigate through. So the functionality of being able to do the table finder and also being the Excel-based table reference, both of those would allow you to navigate and find the tables and the names that you guys are looking for when developing reports. On each customer and vendor, there is a map option. God bless you. There is a map option. What you can do is you can change the built-in maps to use Google or Yahoo. So it gives you an accurate map of where your customers and your vendors are located.